taste of winter yesterday as we are just 2 days away from the official start of spring. One last blast of these 50s and 60s, even some 60s and 70s for highs across our South Florida spots. But we only topped out at 60 yesterday for Brooksville as well as Tampa, St. Pete and Sarasota, a high of 62. But really, as we look at the month of March, every day in red, we've been above average. We hit the earliest 90 on record in Tampa for our first Friday of the month. And so, yeah, yesterday that was the only below average day that we have seen here over the last 2+ weeks. We have seen a little bit of rain here and there. The best rain that we got was back on the first Saturday of the year. Tampa International Airport picking up a little over an inch of rain. And as we look at over the next couple of days, only a few shower chances along the southeast coast of the state. Otherwise, we are building in a dry and a warming pattern, not just for Florida, but all across the southeast. Look at that, not even a drop of rain in sight along the Gulf Coast states here right on through the weekend. And that also is going to come with a pretty nice warm up. Temperatures across the Gulf Coast into the deep south, even the Tennessee Valley, very chilly after that Arctic blast moved through earlier this week. 30s and 40s this morning, a lot of spots below freezing, but look into the afternoon hours, especially around Texas. We see some 70s and 80s. They're closer to feeling the influence of that ridge of high pressure. Look at that. We get up to 78 today in Denver compared to about 70 for Tampa. By tomorrow morning, starting to pull that cold out of here as well. So we go from the 20s and 30s across the deep south to the 30s and 40s. We're back into the 50s for low temperatures around our Tampa Bay spots, and then even more warmth gripping parts of the area. Look at Thursday afternoon. We see some 90s back in the mix for Texas, Oklahoma City, Denver, and Kansas into the 80s. Those are some of the spots we are going to be watching for record heat. Meanwhile, we're still going to be running just a little bit below average, but we're boosting back into the mid 70s here for Thursday as well as into Friday. True Color Satellite seeing some of those stubborn clouds hanging on. The stationary front is just to the south of the state, and otherwise these temperatures here are going to be able to hold chilly for the next couple of hours, feeling cooler with these north to northeast winds. Otherwise, we're back into the 60s by around midday, and we're going to see a mixed bag today of upper 60s near the coast to low 70s. Otherwise, this warmer air continues to spread out here over the next several days, so especially by this weekend, we're going to be back into the 80s, so more so mid and upper 70s for Thursday and Friday. And then we are going to talk about temperatures running a couple of degrees above average, in fact, for the weekend and the top of next week. Otherwise, for today, abundant sunshine, cool breezes up to 10-15 miles per hour, mid 60s north, a couple of upper 60s near the coast, but many of our inland spots back to around 70 or 71 degrees. Still a small craft caution on the water due to these winds, about 15 to 20 knots. Seas are a little bit elevated as well, about 2 to 4 feet, but it's the rip currents now that are going to be more dangerous from Daytona Beach down to Miami. We no longer have that rip current concern for us today. So it's really just boaters have to be careful out there. Still those choppy conditions, seas occasionally up to 5 feet, and briefly cooler water temperatures knocked back into the upper 60s with that cold air that moved in. As for the cold, not nearly as cold tomorrow morning. We're going to be talking mid 40s north to even mid 50s near the coast tomorrow morning. Mid 70s jumping back on the map for pretty much all of the area starting tomorrow and then into the weekend. Look at those low to mid 80s, feeling like springtime again by this weekend.